Another video. This is Michigan Sports Talk here, and in this one we got a Michigan football video, and we're just gonna be going around everything, all the news that we have gotten so far here throughout these last couple of days. Now I'm gonna start off real quick here. Before we get into this one, if you guys are new around here, I'd really appreciate it if you could go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We do Michigan sports news a lot around here, and whenever something happens, we cover it. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you guys are new, and let's get right into today's video. So I don't know if you guys have heard, but Jim Harbaugh has actually gone back into satellite camps. If you guys don't know what satellite camps are pretty much like coaches going in to visit like out of state and everything, or in their state, to pretty much recruit high school players. And it's just like high school players in camp. And so that will be huge for recruiting. He actually started doing this in 2016, but the NCAA put a ban on satellite camps, but then overturned the decision apparently, and they found a way around it where, like, if you're like just a visitor, you can go over there. I don't know, something like that. But satellite camps will be back for Michigan, and Harbaugh and Michigan are going to many satellite camps this year, including in their own backyard and around the country. Now, a lot of people were saying with this coming back, as I just mentioned, he started doing this in 2016, and in 2016 was like the last year Michigan was pretty good. Obviously that doesn't really matter recruiting wise, because he just started coaching here at Michigan in 2015, and that wasn't his recruits that were playing in those years. But everybody was saying that maybe the old Jim Harbaugh is back. I mean, just looking at everything this past year, he's brought in new coaches. He's, I think he's really serious now and knows that he has to do a good job, not only for, the fans, but just for the program and for the players that come here that play, and for recruiting as well. So Jim Harbaugh and Michigan are set to take part in satellite camps in California, Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, Washington, and as well here in Michigan, in the state of Michigan. So that's very huge, and obviously Jim Harbaugh did pretty much start all of these like satellite camps pretty much, and so for him being back into it and everything will be very huge, and hopefully helps out recruiting wise. And so yeah, that's very cool there for Jim Harbaugh. And he's done a lot here in the off season. Just got another great recruiting coach, Steve Clinkscale, and after as Maurice Lingist left Michigan to be the University of Buffalo's coach, and we brought in Steve Clinkscale to take over his spot at the defensive backs coach, which was very huge and very quick acting by Jim Harbaugh in Michigan. So very huge to get that, another great coach, almost exactly like Lingist. So I've been looking at some articles, and I've been looking at some quotes from Michigan football players on the offensive side, and they have been talking about how practices have changed from last year to this year, and how there's much more energy and everything going on with the team. And we haven't been really hearing anything at all from practices or anything. Jim Harbaugh has kind of like closed that from everybody, from all the fans and from all the media and everything. I mean, the spring game wasn't televised. We haven't heard anything at all since the spring game, and all we got was comments from coaches. And do we even know if they're true? Not really, but we kind of just trust them from what they said from the spring game. But yeah, I mean, obviously Jim Harbaugh got a lot of coaching changes, and he's gotten a lot of recruiters, especially on the defensive side. The defensive side, I mean, he just made change after change, and they're pretty good, coaches. I mean, they're really good coaches. Mike Hart, especially on the running backs. On the offensive side, Mike Hart and Jim Harbaugh and Michigan Wolverines hired Mike Hart to be the running backs coach, and he was originally at Indiana, Mike Hart was, and then he came over to Michigan when they offered him. And I was really hoping that we would someday hire him as our running backs coach, because obviously the last like 2 years he was at Indiana, and I just saw him there at Indiana. I'm like, man, why don't we just offer him and he can come back here to his home? And so they did it this year, and the running backs have high praise for him, and they said they're learning a lot. And the receivers and everything, offensive linemen, said there's a lot of energy on the offensive side, and practices are a lot more energetic. And so that's really cool to hear from other players. But obviously we don't know everything, because we really haven't heard anything from practices, but that is what players have said from practices here so far in the offseason. So there's not much going on around Michigan football, but is the old Jim Harbaugh back? I don't know. Let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think of all these coaching changes and what the future is for Michigan football. I think it should be good. I don't know if we'll be able to beat Ohio State. They're just on another level right now. But, getting all these coaching changes, all these recruiters, it should definitely help a lot. And we already seen, a lot more difference from, last year and the other years to recruiting. And we're bringing these coaches in, especially Steve Klingscale. I covered him, and he was from the Ohio area and also recruited really well in the state of Michigan while he was at Kentucky, and he was Kentucky's best recruiter on the defensive side. So bringing him in was very great, especially when Coach Lingus was also a very great recruiter himself, but he left, and we brought in Klingscale to coach the defensive backs. And if he does well, he could be promoted to co-defensive coordinator. And so yeah, I mean, that's just a huge huge coaching hire for Harbaugh, getting Klingscale, and talk about him, growing up in the state of Ohio. And I really think we have to nail, the state of Ohio and Michigan and just in the Midwest area for recruiting, because obviously out west is not working. They come here, players come here from out in the west, and they just leave like in the next 2 years. So out west is not working. I want to focus more in the state of Ohio and Michigan, so that when they come here, they really care about beating Ohio State and Michigan State and caring about the rivalries. But yeah, that is just my opinion on it all. And recruiting should be good for the upcoming years. We do got a lot of coaches that can recruit well. And but yeah, now we're gonna just go through everything, all the coaching changes. Obviously, I've covered all of them. You guys can go back to my videos, and I can only post one video at the end of this video for you guys, but here is all the coaching changes that has happened this year. So obviously in December, Don Brown got dismissed, and he was obviously, he is on Arizona now, I'm pretty sure, for their defensive coordinator, but we got rid of him. Just could not perform well here, especially against Ohio State the last 2 years we played them. And then we hired Mike McDonald as our defensive coordinator, and covered that video. And he's from the Ravens, so should be a great defensive coordinator. And he has a great scheme as a coach, and he mixes in everything on the defensive side. So it'll be very fun to watch our defense next year. And then we hired Maurice Lingus. Obviously he left, so Steve Klingscale replaced him, and we also got George Hilo. George Hilo was the linebackers coach at Maryland, but he is the safeties coach here at Michigan. And obviously Klingscale is the defensive backs coach, and could be promoted to co-defensive coordinator next year or the upcoming years if he does good. And then we also extended Sean Nuya, which was he's a defensive line coach, and he's a great defensive line coach, so that was very huge as well. That was back in January. I don't know if I covered that video, because I actually might have covered him in a video. I started really doing all of this and after Christmas, I'm pretty sure it was January. So I started making all these videos and everything, so I'm pretty sure I did cover that video though. Also, Ron Bellamy hired to coach wideouts after he won a state championship with Donovan Edwards. Obviously, the freshman running back coming in 5-star, should be explosive. And so, yeah, Ron Bellamy was a huge hire. He actually was a former wide receiver here at Michigan, so he should be really great here with Josh Gattis as the offensive coordinator and just coaching the wide receivers. And then the next coach we got was Matt Weiss to coach the quarterbacks. So he is our quarterbacks coach right now. Matt Weiss, he's another coach from the Ravens. We got a lot of coaches from the Ravens. So, and then obviously, yeah, the latest was Maurice Langis's job as Buffalo's head coach, and then we got Steve Clinkscale, and that is pretty much it. Jim Harbaugh got moved to the tight ends position, or not position, tight ends coach. So, but yeah, guys. Actually, I forgot to mention also Sharon Moore. We got him, and he is the offensive line and co-offensive coordinator coach. So we got him as well. And then also George Hilo is the linebackers coach. I'm pretty sure I said safeties, but he's a linebackers coach. And then I think Ron Bellamy also got moved to safeties. So yes, Ron Bellamy got moved from wide receivers to safeties. And then George Hilo, after that happened, he was originally the safeties coach, but he got moved to linebackers coach. So that's what happened. So that's everything that happened in the offseason as of right now. That is what everything that has happened on the coaching side. So Jim Harbaugh, I think he did a pretty dang good job this offseason. Got a lot of good coaches on the coaching staff now. So, now we just got to see how they do and how the team is in the future. So that will pretty much wrap up today's video. Just a little Michigan football video covering everything, and just, wanted to talk about some things, coaching staff, then also the satellite cams, and also I also forgot to mention that Josh Gattis got a contract extension. Our offensive coordinator, Josh Gattis, got a contract extension, and so yeah, it's just a 3-year difference though on his last contract from where his last contract expired. It's only a 3-year difference from where this one expires now. So he got a contract extension, which I don't know how I feel about it. The offense, has been iffy the last 2 years, and so obviously he has only been here for the 2 years, but we'll see how that goes. And but yeah, you got a contract extension. So that's pretty much gonna wrap up today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. Hope you guys found everything useful and got some more new got new information from Michigan football. And if you guys are new around here and you like this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We cover Michigan sports news around everything, and whenever something comes out, I'll be covering it. So make sure you guys are subscribed, turn on post notifications so you never miss a video, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.